Breaking news, this just in. You are probably wrong about God. Before you get mad at me and ask, what do you mean I'm not wrong about God? Well, I hope you're not, but you probably are, and I probably am too. And the fact is, I kind of think we're all probably at least a little bit wrong about God. Because you see, if we really think that we can completely understand God who is infinite, God who is above all, whose ways are higher than our ways, whose thoughts are higher than our thoughts, who is so much more complex than we could ever imagine, well then, I'm sorry, but I think you might be mistaken. Now, again, before you click off this video and think that I'm just saying this so that we can say that everyone's right and all paths lead to God, or that I'm just some postmodernist who says all truth is relative, that's really not at all what I'm getting at. More of what I'm getting at is, well, maybe in our theology we could just have just like a little bit more humility. Because you see, so often I'll be on the comment sections of YouTube videos listening to one pastor or one speaker or whatever it is, and it seems that everyone is sure about one thing, and it's that everyone else is wrong except them. And I just think it's time that as Christians we recognize that perhaps we don't know all there is to know about God. That perhaps, maybe, just maybe, we could be potentially a little wrong too. And now, what I'm not advocating is us to stop caring about theology and just saying, well, God's unknowable. I don't think that's true at all. In fact, I think God has worked very hard to make himself known clearly through the scriptures and through his work through Jesus and his work on the cross. But I just think a little humility in our theology would go a long way. Because what I see so often is that our confidence in our own theology, our certainty that we are 100% right, often leads us to make other people outcasts, to often bring out the heretic word. I see that so often, that everyone else is a heretic. And I think we just need to slow down just a little bit, maybe have more healthy dialogue with each other, more humble about our theology when we recognize that maybe people who see things different than me could be right too. Well then maybe, just maybe, we could all learn something. Now, this isn't to say I don't think there are core truths in theology, but I think what Rupert Muldonius said, a German theologian, is so important. That in essentials, we should have unity. In non-essentials, we should have liberty. And in all things, we should have charity. Which means in the most important core things about our faith, the idea is that Jesus died for us, that he lived a perfect life, and that he rose again on the third day. The core things of our faith, and there are more than that, but the core things that it takes to be a believer, well, we need to find unity on these things. But the fact is, a lot of times, we're disagreeing with people who agree with us in those things. We're calling people heretics who agree about those things. We're ostracizing people who are right there with us. But the second part of this is really important. In non-essentials, liberty. And this is to say, should we baptize infants or should we only baptize full-grown adults or things of this nature? We need to recognize that the Bible's a little gray on it and that there is room for all of us in the house of God despite our differences, that we have to have liberty in these, that we can allow people to have different opinions than us and things to still be okay. And then in all things, charity. And that part of it is so important, that as Christians, we need to be loving everyone, that we need to be showing charity or showing love in all of our interactions. And it pains me that so often when I see Christian to Christian interactions, maybe one person's of this denomination and the other is of this denomination, or one person's a Calvinist and one's an Arminian, or one person is of this theological persuasion and one is of this, but they essentially agree about most things except for a few things. I see them just tearing each other apart and being so rude to each other. And I just think it's a terrible example to the world of the message of Jesus, which is a message that is supposed to be loving towards all, especially those who are different than us. And that includes people within our own fold who have different theological persuasions than us. So I think if we can approach theology with just a touch more humility and recognize that maybe, just maybe, I could be wrong on some of these things, I think we'd learn a lot, I think we'd love a lot better, and I think we'd be a lot better witness to the world. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. I'm sorry if it offended you, but I'm actually not really that sorry. Yeah, I'm not. But I really do hope that you enjoyed it. If you want to leave comments, if you disagree with me, let me know. I'd love to talk about this, because if you disagree with me, that's okay. We can talk about things. We can disagree, and I think there's room for both of us in God's heart. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to click like, leave me a comment letting me know what you thought. Be sure to hit subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and be sure to check out what comes out next. See you guys.